I'm still sitting here at night. Haven't been able to fall back asleep. But I think about it and I think about, what brought me to do this sensory deprivation darkness retreat. I just wake up one day and it's let me go into the darkness. Nope, nope, nope. I guess somebody can say it was about a girl. Or we'll say two girls. I was in a relationship for about to going on 6 years. I was, in quotation marks, engaged. And from the first moment I saw this woman, her name was Yasmine, I knew she was the one. Well, for me. She had other thoughts. But, I have my amazing daughter Haven, and I was married beforehand. We divorced several years ago. I think it's almost 8 years ago, maybe. 7, 6, I forget. Cool mom. Great mother. Just better co-parents and friends versus in a relationship. But going to Yasmine, on the other hand, this was my person. Went through ups and downs. Found her to be the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And we decided that, or we decided that hey, let's have a little one. And for me, I always wanted to get married. That's what I wanted. And yeah, we have our ups and downs, but yes, for the most part, I wanted to get married. And the only way that I wanted to have a child was if I was going to get married. Makes sense, doesn't it? Right? I never wanted to have multiple mothers and multiple kids. I just wanted the one. Or at least in my new situation, just have this one and be this as we go off into the sunset. But we have this little one. She decides, you know what, I do not want to get married. As a matter of fact, we have our ups and downs, and then she leaves with this little Ava Cairo, 6 months, 6 months years old. And no matter what I wanted to do to make it work, she was not on board. I said, talk to other people. Let's find out what we can do. This is what couples go through. It's challenging to have a baby in relationship the first year. And she said, no. There's nothing she's willing to do. There's nothing that can make it work. And then I find myself in a situation, in a place I did not want to be in. 2 kids, 2 mothers. Even though I wanted to make it work, still maybe wanted to make it work. But I had no choice. And it started to affect me in many areas of my life. At work, I was not being productive. I was not doing the things I needed to do the job well. I was living in a house where her stuff was around, and I just could not get better. I was in pain. And I was feeling that there was no clear break, because you cannot get married because we're not in her mind, and you can't just walk your separate ways, because every single week or every other day you had to see the person you love, but she did not love you back. But you share a little one. The pain of that every single day and every single moment. And yes, I could have ran and started dating and started partying and doing all that stuff, but I realized going out was not going to solve my problem. I needed to heal by being with myself and by myself. Fighting off the shame and the identity that I was going to carry with me. The who that I did not want to be was a person that had two mothers and two kids, so I knew it was going to affect me in future relationships if I ever wanted to have another relationship, if I ever wanted to have another child. All of that, because of this situation, was no longer on the table. You know, I always talk with people and I ask them, who do you want to be? Make that choice. What happens if the who that you wanted to be you cannot change? No matter what you want, you feel stuck. And for me, I felt stuck. I needed to remove the social conditioning and the trauma that I had within myself and heal. So I did go outside help. I took a solo trip to Joshua Tree. I met with some shamans in Sedona, Arizona. And time again, it told me to go into the darkness. That's where the answer would be. And I have friends like Vicky Higgins and Susie Batiste and Justin Furness and Corey and my mom and my dad and people around me that were supporting me and saying you must take care of yourself, and Janae and Katie and all these people. And so that's why I'm here. 5 days in isolation by myself with myself. To identify who is a person that needs to emerge by the time I come out of here, what shame, what trauma, what self-beliefs I had that need to be changed, that need to be transformed, that need to be renewed. You know, hopefully my experience will help somebody down the road. Hopefully they'll realize that they're in situations that they never expected themselves to be in, but have to still wake up the next day and decide how they're going to navigate, like I always say, this game called life. And see, for me, this is a rebirth. I must leave here. And I cannot do the same things I was beforehand because I already know where that circular loop was going to take me. And that was shame and sadness and despair. But as I leave here, I need to leave intentional. Understanding that the person that came in may not be the same person coming out. As I attacked my demons, attacked my trauma, attacked and went deep into my core and into myself to unpack what I do not want to have, and as I leave here, repack my bags to the person who I choose to be.